What's the best way to get an honest answer in an interview?
I mean, there are mainly four things. The first one is trust and relationship. The second one, if you want them to share, you share first. The third one is location. And the fourth one is get out of performance mode. What do they mean? Let's try to dig in so that we understand a little bit. So trust and relationship, it's the base for a good interview. If somebody contacts you out of the blue and says, I would like to come and you can ask me any questions about documentary, you would have not said yes, just from a cold message. You build the trust in many ways, and there are multiple levels, right? And I think it's important to understand at which level you know you have good trust. So you need to arrive to a certain level in order for you to say yes to somebody that wants to do an interview with you. You have to feel comfortable. Usually that level is defined by if you feel safe. The fact that I know you're not going to mess up with my story, you're not going to try to hurt, you're not going to try to manipulate, you're not going to try to do all these things, then I feel like I can open up with you. And the other thing, in order to build that trust that makes the person feel safe, is usually through the relationship, is not through coming up with the good question. You can have the best question. If the person doesn't trust you, you're not going to get anything done. And you could go in an interview having really bad questions, but the person really trusts you, and somehow you go with your guts in what's interesting and what not. I bet the second one is going to give you more answer that are going to be used in your story than not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I never sit down to interview somebody if we first don't have a meal together, or if we don't spend some time together where I get a sense of who you are. What kind of personality are you? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? What are the things that you could potentially like? What is your personality? Are you more of a shy guy, or you're more of an extrovert that you like to talk about everything? The other thing that is really important is if you ask people to share very deep personal things about their life, you gotta do it first. When I ask people to share stories about death in their life, painful moments of their life, I go in my past, I pick up the worst moments, the very vulnerable moments, and I put them on the table. I'm not going to say, I'll give you this so you can give me yours. That's not the point.
It's not a
right?
trade.
That's not
a trade.
It has to be a sincere interest and curiosity, and there's nothing that will substitute that. You have to be like seriously interested and genuinely curious about this person. When I am seriously interested and genuinely curious about you, most likely it's going to become automatic for me to want to share with you. Like I'm not here just to take, I'm here to give. And so I start to share with you that pain because I know that you're going to feel more comfortable because you get a piece of me. You get a piece of my vulnerability. And again, that build on to the relationship and the trust. There is another point though. Some people though, especially public figures, when they have the camera in front of them, even if they know you really well, even if they have a good trust with you, they go in performance mode. What does that mean, performance mode? It's when somebody is projecting onto you the image that they think you have of them. And that it's natural. It's a natural defense mechanism when you have the camera pointing at you. Somehow you're trying to come up with the most intelligent version of you, the smartest way, the smartest version of you, the smartest side of you, the most intelligent version of you, so that your performance, can give all the right answer and all the interesting facts.
But it's a performance.
And it's a performance, though. Totally, it's not you. It's not like you're not going to give me any vulnerable moments. You're not going to give me any true raw meat. You're just going to give me polished and plastic answer. And we don't want that. And usually you can tell the difference by the two, like just by the perceptions that you have. You can tell. When somebody is in performance mode in an interview, you can tell because they are like put up. What do I do with that? Usually I recall on our relationship. That's why relationship is the number one and trust is number one. The last aspect is the location, Miguel. Yes. It's really, really important because you won't believe how much the location can be affecting the mood and the psychology of the person that is being interviewed. And usually I ask this to people that I interview, what would be the most comfortable locations where you would like to be interviewed? In the moments that you do that interview in their house is also a way for you to remember. To pay an homage to your dad, to your grandfather, is a way for you to connect with your grandfather, right? And all of that, believe it or not, comes in the camera. And it comes in the way we interact. You know what I'm saying? I know. It's going to be very different than we do the interview about your grandfather in this room, in this studio, compared to you actually being in a place where memory comes back, but also where you feel at home. The location is not just about the look of your interview, it's about how much content you're going to get out. If you follow these 4 things, like, it's going to be very hard that you're going to mess up. The only thing that is going to mess up with these 4 things that I just shared is if you're not genuinely interested in this person and in their story.